Well, hi guys. I miss you guys so much. I'm not gonna be here with you guys the last time, but I'm here today, this morning. That's been living good matin, so I could give you this show for today, okay? But I miss you guys so much. I was thinking about you guys all yesterday to all my meetings, but I'm here.
How you guys just wake up to so much love this morning? I mean, she didn't even tell me anything about missing me or loving me, but she just goes straight for you guys. Like, come on, look at all this love. See, I told y'all she missed y'all. You see, now she proved me right. This millennial got a lot of love, so take it all. Take it all. Yes. And I'm also going to take this opportunity to be like, well, good morning. I mean, it is bright and early. It's kind of...
And my time is 5 a.m.
That's because we have a lot of love for you guys and we want to get this going. So thank you, Lady D3, for doing this. And I appreciate you for it, of course. And we want to welcome everybody to another episode of our conversations. And of course, we have to give a shout out to D2 behind the scenes.
Paparak, Sac Passe, CEO Self. What's good?
I totally tried to be you on the last episode and give that shout out like that. Well, not like that, but
somewhat like that.
I tried. So guys, again, continue to like and share. And of course, drop your comments. We always appreciate the feedback. And as you know, we have a lot of issues going on around in our Haitian community right now, locally and abroad. So we definitely want to hear your voices about it. And right now, with the current situation at the Texas border, did you hear any updates?
Any updates? No, but they're saying that there's actually a surge, another surge of immigrants, about what, 85,000 or 80,000? It was 80,000. Another surge of...
Is that the one from Fox News? I don't know. I think there's definitely been some kind of a misunderstanding with our migration situation out here, because I think somebody's telling the people that they can do this. That's why there's so many at the border right now. Because I'm like, if you didn't tell me something was for free, I'm not showing up.
Right.
Right. So because there's so many of them. And you know what I hate? I absolutely hate the fact that there's a lot of migrants out there, but they keep like highlighting the Haitians. Like that's who's on the forefront. And I'm sitting here like, if you were to type in, I don't know, crisis at Del Rio, Texas, border issues, whatever you want to type up, almost every news article says Haitians. They'll say stuff like 15,000 migrants whom are mostly Haitians. Mm-hmm. Or they'll say, you know, like, it's like everything was Haitian, Haitian, Haitian. So I'm wondering, why are they highlighting us, you know, like that all of a sudden, like out of the blue, when they just had how many Afghans come in, and they have Venezuelans at the border, you have
right
people at the border too.
Right. But, right. Because the way it seemed, like it made it seem, and I found that really funny, because it made it, when I was looking really into that, you know, what was happening at the border, it was like, wait, hold up, pause. I never heard they say Venezuelans nothing. Nobody else's was it?
Everybody else's country. That's right.
Yes, nobody else was mentioned, but only Haitians. I'm like, what? Why did we single out just Haitians? Though?
Right. That was my migrants seeking help. And the bad part is, I think what's making it an issue is not only are they at the border, but the issues started because pictures came about of the mistreatment that they were, you know, doing out there. So I think the Biden administration at that point had to say something, because now they were looking bad. Mm-hmm. So supposedly they said that those guys who were on horseback, those agents, that they have them on administrative leave, right? Because they're investigating what happened.
What else do you need to investigate? Like I thought was it you what's up? What is it? You're innocent until proven guilty. They were innocent until I saw those pictures. Those pictures are proof right there. Like you see what's happening, like what is administration. So they get to just kick back, chill, drink a mojito or two.
Exactly. Because they know they just put them on hold while we forget about things as usual, and then we'll probably come back and report some BS to us. But I think what I really think is because the images made them look bad, so they're just lashing on them. Like, how could you do something like this? And now we look bad in front of the media. Now we gotta do damage control. Like, how dare? I think they're probably more upset over that than it would be over the fact that the act was just inhumane. It was just wrong. Even though I think they might say that, but I really think, like I guess, well, you're not a parent, but it's like if you're a parent and the teacher calls you.
My little brother. I'm still a parent. I was here since he was born. I'm a parent.
It's too early.
I'm not that in a rush now. Listen, I got a little brother. That's all the parents.
Like it's too early in the morning for this conversation.
Excuse me, madam. You didn't have to slap me through the phone.
Yeah, but like as a parent, I know me as a parent, I hated it when the teacher had to call me for any reason. So even if I didn't feel like doing nothing to my son, I had to just be like, let me show them that, you're getting disciplined and you're going to get it right. But, so I feel like, and it's probably in that sense that the Biden administration people stepped up, because the people have not been there just like yesterday. I'm finding out they've been under this bridge for some years now. So that means the treatment that we saw today or recently in the news is not like a one-time incident.
Right. Maybe now they're recorded and then stuff, or just, get into the public eye, but it's been happening.
It's in the limelight now, so they can't ignore it. They have to do something about it. So I think they're just mad. Like, why would you make us look bad now? Like we're the gun puissance, but we're really evil and stuff like. So I think they're just mad over the backlash, not necessarily because they know it's wrong, because they should have been training those people never to even have to use whips in the first place. Why did they have such a thing? You know what I mean? But anyways, supposedly now I hear too that they are not letting those agents ride, not those agents, but I guess border patrol agents, period, to have them on horseback. I was like, ooh, I know them horses are having a party. Like, ooh, great, get off my back.
No, because they're on horses, they can be, no, I'm not even gonna lie to you. Let them put them in the full with the Haitian people. Yap right. When you're on a horse, it's okay, because you can run, you can maneuver a little bit faster. No, but be in the full.
Now we want to, and that's usually what has been happening. If you want to look at it throughout the whole Black history up here too, like people were always at an advantage. And we were always trying to play catch up to them, whether it was school or whatever it is. They always had the upper hand because they limited us so badly that we're never really starting at the same starting point. So competition was never going to be fair. You know what I mean? Like, it was like you had to be seriously determined or just born straight blessed to surpass. Yeah. So that's, I guess that's how you keep racism going, right? You just get the upper hand and you fall back a little. Yeah, but put people on even playing ground. For then you could really see who's smart. You could really see who got, stamina, who got endurance, who got the brains, the intelligence, all of it. But anyways, that's a whole other conversation. So
in that episode.
So the Biden administration, we find out too that they were just deporting these people without even documenting them or processing them or doing anything like that.
Like Title 42 says they should be doing.
Right. So they use that to be like, oh, we have a pandemic going on. We have the coronavirus. So we don't know what these people have or brought with them. Ship them back. So you can use that. Like, I don't want you to get us sick. So we're protecting our citizens, right? Because if your president is saying that they're protecting you, you're going to love it, right? So don't bring foreigners, foreign issues, foreign dramas, foreign sickness, illnesses to us. So just cut them loose. But they were not testing them, at least to find out if they had that or anything like that. Just
Right.
Title 42.
Yeah.
We can do it. We can do
It's
it.
like you know how when you get a mail in from like the postal services or whatever, and then you do a return to sender. That's literally what they did. No, seriously. They didn't even open the box. Or no matter of fact, they opened the box. They're like, "What is this? I don't want it." Return to send. I'm sorry, I'm refusing this package. That's literally the same thing they did to, and it's like, and there's a what is it? There's a part of the Title 42 where you're supposed to do a screening to actually see if these people really need the help. If they're running from what is it? Some of them were coming from what Brazil? We had some of them coming from what's that other country?
They were coming from all parts of South America.
The spicy place, you know, the spicy food, the hot. They was coming, yes, they was coming from the hot. So so literally you then look into these you know, you then really use the screening like you said you would to actually realize if these people needed help. No, you just did a return to sender and you refused the package.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, they probably just stamped rejected, all in red. Like, I don't need a tracking number to even know if it went back to sender. And that's why some people were getting upset, because some of the people that were being sent back were not even from Haiti. You know, like their pastor might have said it, but they would have kids or whatever that never even know the country. Like, how do you go back to a country that you don't even know?
You don't
I don't mind going to a country to visit.
Right.
I don't know, because I think that's really cool. Like, oh, let me learn the language. Let me learn some of the culture. Let me see how they feel. I don't want to see it on the media. I'm experiencing it myself. But when it's the other way around, like you have to live there and you don't know a lick, like.
Right. Kind of bring me back to that guy. I don't know if you remember a year back. I think it was a year or almost a year. It was that guy with the dreads. He was deported to Haiti. And then he's like, he didn't want to get off the plane because he's like, I don't know no one here. Like I wasn't even, what time? He was gone since he was little. So he doesn't know anyone, and then they deported him to Haiti. Well, don't get me wrong, like he wasn't the best of the best, but like when he got back, it was like, yo, I don't know no one here. And imagine now, my thing when I look at these things is, if some of them doesn't have families, and some of them doesn't have you know, like people that they can seek shelter with and everything like that. Now, who are they gonna seek help from? And the government, when they came down there, they only said bombo $300 et puis wa dégage ou avec $300 Haitian wa dégage ou avec, in a play full of inflation. My thing is now, and this is so weird as so I'm thinking of it like this, but that's how I'm thinking. Would these people, if they get help from the, you know, the bad part of Haiti, like the bad people of Haiti, now would that, you know, add on to the already like unstable stuff that we have to, unstable situation that we're in Haiti already? If you get what I'm trying to say, like if those, you know, Bundy and stuff like that decides to help those people, now what's gonna happen? Who's their loyalty is gonna be towards? And with that much hate in your heart for what just happened to you, I mean, I'm human at the end of the day. You're gonna get hurt by something that's been done to you, unless they try to find their way back, you know, to where they came from. But imagine if you get help from Bundy, your loyalty is gonna be to who?
Yeah, that's your new family. I think that's how gangsters work up here too. Like if they feel like you support them, you appreciate them or whatever, they automatically will give you that allegiance, you know, like they're gonna be loyal to you, ride or die, how they call it, you know. But I want to say, like, I had a brother who was actually deported too, well, they claim he was like a juvenile delinquent. There was fights in school. My brother, like, he didn't care. He was not gonna get beat up, right? So he gets into trouble or whatever. But what happened is when we came, you know, you had to wait for some time to actually get your papers done. So we were able to do our papers and renew everything, right? But he couldn't because they would not allow it. So now his papers are expired. So technically he's, I guess you want to call it illegal. Like now he's illegally here and things like that. So anyways, long story short, they wind up deporting him. So when he went back to Haiti, he was all dreaded up. And at the time, Haitians were afraid of people who's dreaded up because they think you a vagabond, you a gang member, you know, whatever. So needless to say, we didn't really have any families down there. So we had nobody to take him and things like that. And I think we didn't really understand how the system works here too. Like we were not even understanding that it was all prejudice, it was all racism, it was all like working against them. Anyways, he was so fine, my little brother. Oh, I miss him so much. But anyways, he wind up he died. So yeah, he like it's I can't even go on that subject because it's very sentimental to me. But I could see what you're saying. Like, okay, so let's say he goes back and he has nobody, and then it's like a gang person that brings him in. He's gonna wind up becoming that, and it's so much easier to go bad than, I don't know, make progress up front. Because I was saying, like, when I saw the 85,000 or whatever many more they say of Haitians were coming, I was like, imagine if all those people stayed home. Or imagine if they go back home. That's 85,000 possible workers that can toil the land. You know what I mean? In any way, shape, or form. Because when they come to the US, they're gonna do it for the US. Whether it's working under the table, because they may not ever get papers like, you know, to working permits or anything like that. So they're gonna give their sweat, their muscles somewhere here, even if it's just to pass it while mouillé, you know, ballet or anything, they're gonna do it. So if you were able to bring that back home, I'm just imagining, look at your face. Why your face look like that?
No, that's oh, Jesus. Like that nose just hit me. I'm trying to like not.
It's been a while. I want to say I've definitely done a good job suppressing it. So that's why I'm trying not to let that volcano rise back up. But you know, most people who know me, they kind of know the story already anyways. But yeah, I don't try to share too many personal info. But, and it's a lot of things that's happening in America, I can definitely relate. It's like, you name it, I've probably experienced it already, or know somebody close by me who's gone through it, or we had to endure together, whether as a family, friend, or a church. You know, like somebody knows somebody who, if you're Black, you've definitely experienced some serious hardships, you know? So I'm hoping for the day, you know how Martin Luther King had a dream? He had a dream that we would get together, and that actually happened, even though it's not 100%, but you know what I mean? At least we don't have to go through different doors. We can go to the same schools. We can try to get ours in. So with that being said, I still want to have that hope too, that dream, like you had said too, that Haiti can be better. Haiti can become better. And my question for you is, I'm thinking, I don't know if you know this, if you notice this about Haitians, but why do they always think that they have to come to America in order to be successful? Like, so I mean, ici, ou poko vive.
Wow, that's a good question. Because I feel like I've also lived that part where it's like, okay, where would I be right now if I wasn't in Haiti? If I was still in Haiti? Would I still have the same education? Would I still have the same opportunities? And, you know, would life be, you know, better or worse? And sometimes, like, and if I'm being honest on this podcast, sometimes I really think like my life would have probably been totally different in terms of like, because I feel like every year corruption gets really, really bad in Haiti. Every year. It just like gets really, really bad. And to the point that now I know one of my really good friends, and he went to school for accounting in Haiti, and he actually works for one of the biggest magazines. I mean, you're in magazine, but biggest, how do you call it, magazine in department store?
Department, yeah, you got it.
Yeah. So listen here, y'all gotta bear with me and my Quillen English, okay? But yeah, and to see that he's literally on his last year and he's supposed to graduate, but because it got to a point where they started to like rob kids right from the college, like right from the college, right outside the college door. When they walk into class, they kidnap them. They've already assaulted so many women. And then it was his last year, and we were supposed to wait to celebrate and stuff like that, that he was going to graduate and everything. And it's been almost a year and he's still home. He hasn't been going to school. And it's like, I think God, by the grace of God, like I have my first degree now and stuff, and now I'm working towards my second one. And it's like what we had, when people say, okay, do we have to come here to be successful? We can't mentally, okay, so how do I say this? Like, education wise, if you're in Haiti, you're rich. Education is rich in Haiti, because when they teach you, they teach you.
I'm telling you.
And you learn, like, we learn books, like we was in books. If you wanted to, Google was not doing the work for you, so you had to do the work for yourself, which means that when it came to when it came to really knowing your information, you knew it. But here versus here, it's like Google does it for you, so you don't have to put in all that work. So education wise, I would have been at a high level. I still take the same way I learned in Haiti and apply it here. So it's still the same thing, but in terms of like financially safe, like my safety and I don't know. Like, I felt like we would be stuck to it's either work for the government or it's either work for, like you couldn't even build a business in Haiti, because guess what? Of what can happen to you if you try to build a business in Haiti. So that question is a very tricky question. So I'm gonna send it back to you. Like, what do you think? Because I really feel like if I didn't come here, and I'll be honest, if I did not come here, I probably would be in a different place. Like, I probably wouldn't be able to go to school. Because like my mom, she's very protective. So she would definitely be like, nope, you're not going. Especially I'm a woman, you're not going. And it would have been, so I thank God for the opportunity to come here. But if I ever had the opportunity to go back, like if we had like, work in government and everything like that, if I get the opportunity to go back and, work in Haiti, like I definitely will.
Me too. That's definitely the goal. And I agree with you that education wise, I feel like I would have been way smarter. Way smarter if I was in Haiti. I actually still remember my lessons, okay? And like what, pre-K and
that's your Malice lessons.
You had your Buki and Malice. Oh man, I'm telling you, like it was every Friday. I remember it was poetry day, so we had to memorize a poem, and I think that's why I'm in love with poetry.
Poem, yes. Our poet test right here.
Right? I mean, that's like poem like from stuff you wouldn't know, but it was crazy. Even the games we play, maybe it's just a childhood thing. Like they just don't really erase from your memory like that.
Mancala was my favorite.
Mancala?
Yeah, it was this. What is it? What they call it? Oh Jesus! But I know it originated from. But the way they do it in Haiti is so fun. Like you got it and then you really wash that. Like it was washed, and then you had to take the wash and then put it in different squares, and then keep going.
Okay. We call it kai. Kai, but we use like ice cubes.
Ice cube lavabel.
Yeah, you put the rocks in there. I mean, you could do it on the ground too, or you could do it.
We used to do rocks.
Yeah,
we used to do rocks. Rocks
was a lot. And then you had the mob, you had the sack, you had the cop, you had the
the cop was everything. Like learn how to make a kite and everything like that, and then like making sure like the shape looks nice. That when like you had to cut it a certain way so the wind could go through. And then
the longer the tail, that means your kite was dope.
Listen here. Okay?
What about a soccer ball? Did you learn how to make a soccer ball with a condom?
No.
Oh yeah, you probably.
I learned how to make a car out of a bottle of Tampico and four in the top of them. a little car. A bottle of it was either a box of cereal with the with that kiligan, the gallon of kiligan.
Yeah.
You take the top, and that used to be your wheels, and then you have the bottom.
Because the best way to do it was with the cans. That's when your car was dope. If you could use the can, oh yeah. We had to use like real cans, real aluminum.
Oh my God, yo, I miss those days. Like, hey, Haitians will come up with the funniest thing just to play. Like, of everything, you can never beat Lago Kashi. You can never beat Lago Kashi.
Oh gosh, I wasn't a big fan of Lago.
Oh, listen here, I got so many scrapes on my knee from Lago.
Anyways, let me bring you back. Let me reel you back in. So I think in Haiti, we had that mindset that because America stood like the big rock star. You know what I mean? It sounded like everybody's dream was to come to America someday. So I think they did a really good job with their marketing schemes by selling us this wonderful land of freedom, this wonderful land of opportunity that everybody, news got around and everybody just wanted to come in. And all Haitians, they will either sell their lands or, I don't know, feti market to save up the money to try and, come through, whether it was by boat, whether it was they had a family member, qui buy a residence to bring them here. So they all felt like once you come here, you have arrived. But if your family up here is not already stable, that makes it harder because you don't have somebody to depend on. So now you have to work for years and years and years to try and bring your other people behind. Because a lot of times it was one person at a time who could travel and not everybody. But now that we are all out here, right? We are like in Paris, we're like all over the country in different parts of the world. I'm thinking like, what would happen if we decided to go back home? Knowing the skills that we have right now, we have different skill sets, different careers. A lot of us speak different languages and things like that. And that's my problem with Haiti right now, because you're not hearing of any national project that could do something big and unify us like that. Like, I'm not hearing anything from banks or the elites. I mean, I feel like we're just like forgotten, like you have that back room in your house that you barely ever go into.
The attic.
It's like we're like the lost child, the stepchild, the this, but then we can't blame people for forgetting about us because we should be the one, cleaning our own yard in the first place anyways. Do the education. Like, the thing is, nothing can stay consistent. That's my problem with Haiti. Today is okay, then tomorrow you have another insurrection of some craziness, and then everything got to shut down. And like you said, for the insecurity, that's the only thing that's so super unstable that makes people not want to go to Haiti.
Right. I think if insecurity was not a problem in Haiti, listen here, okay? Like, it would be, I think, because that's the major thing. Like, if we could have that time where it's no problem, listen here, I'm going to Haiti. And the crazy thing is, I'm sure a bunch of other people will go. And imagine, and like you said, with the skill set, we have a bunch of us here, teachers, we have psychologists, we have doctors, we have engineers, we have all of these people that, came here and learned, something. And then imagine everyone just going back, and then all the engineers get together, all the teachers get together, all the doctors get together and stuff like that. The doctors focus on the hospitals and the nurses and everything. And then the teachers focus on the schools, how to better the schools, how to, come up with programs where Haitians can learn different languages, people that have skilled trades, like skilled stuff, like how to teach other people that, maybe they don't want to go to school, you know what I mean? But they want to learn skills. Like, and those people come together and create a Lincoln Tech in Haiti, you know what I mean? Yo, imagine if it wasn't insecurity. I think that's the big. So you know what? That's what I want to be gone from Haiti. Insecurity. And then from there, if from there, like, I feel like if everyone really works together, like in categories, or even if they, let's just for this year, they focus on just rebuilding places. And then the next year is just focused on starting to establish schools and stuff like that, because education is very important. And then the next year they focus on something different. But every time you do something like that, is more jobs being created, less people in chômage, less people needing, to rely on bandits and stuff like that. And I feel like Haiti will move in a different direction.
It needs to. It has to. But the thing is, you have to still put into consideration the gangs in Haiti right now. Somebody's still paying them to just go run amok, just be chaotic. Like, I think that's just what they get paid for, to instill fear. And I'm like, why would you want the people to like crumble at your feet? Wouldn't it be better that the people have what's the word, respect for you? Like, oh, my leader is so great that I'm not gonna let anybody touch him, kind of a thing, as opposed to you just want to be a dictator and put fear in people do what you say. Like, it's so much better when they're giving you their heart to do something for you, versus like they just don't want you to kill their family and they're doing it. So that only means at any chance they get, they can retaliate or they will go up against you. So I don't know the mindset behind their thing.
I wonder if this question is like, well, not this question, but I wonder if the elites sleep at night. Well, they sleep at night. I'm sure they do. But I'm saying in terms of, do they ever think like it's going to be one day where those Haitians going to be like, you know what, enough is enough? Because they say everybody has their breaking point. So enough is enough. So then imagine when enough is enough and these people really put together and start, like, do they ever think, okay, before it gets to that point, let me just rewind back. You make all this money from us and your money is going to keep growing anyway. The more your country is growing, the more your money is going to grow.
Hello.
Because the more business you put in place for them, the more job they have, the more workers you have, the more money you're getting. But no, they're really thinking of a place of keeping them down and exploiting them for money. But it would be better if you got your money from honest labor, honest work.
Exactly. And then these are not that many in Haiti. I mean, it's not a high population.
11 of them.
You can count it on 3 hands. But the issue is really, not only are the elites are not like looking forward to this, because those people who are successful in Haiti, they could be successful anywhere else, to be honest, right? Like, they could have been in any other country and they might still have that same level of success, but they want it in Haiti because, I guess, of that freedom that you could do whatever you want, and then you run the show. Like, I think you have more power in Haiti because you look at the people like they're slaves anyways, because that's the only reason why you would treat people like that, because you're looking at them less than. Otherwise, you would give them the opportunity to be educated. You would give them the opportunity to come out of poverty. You would give them the opportunity to, even if they become farmers, like to do agriculture and cultivate the land. Like, you would allow that. But my whole thing is, we had a revolt before. So that means at some point we definitely were together, right? Because you had to be together to be like, okay, we're going to get our freedom and fight for our freedom. And even the Haitians right now that's migrating to Texas at the border is because there was an accord. There was a unified decision, like, hey, let's all go there. Somebody listened, and then the word got around and people did it. So I'm like, how we can do things like that, but we can't do it the other way around and be like, let's stand fight for Haiti. I saw a video where they were showing you Munyo Kapul Kante. They're getting on this little boat, like 5,000 people on a little boat. I'm like, that's suicidal. Like, that boat's not gonna take that journey. It's too many people in there. Like, what's the weight restriction? They don't care. They're like, they'd rather like be eaten by sharks than to stay home. That's how bad it is. But I'm like, if you want a suicide mission, you might as well fight, because if you're planning on dying either way, at least go down fighting, saying, listen, I need bread, I need this, I need that, and you have to give it to me. So they could get together as a group to build those boats to get out. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're smart, but it's like working in reverse to me. Like they smart at doing all these other things. Like, our roots run deep, right? Our roots run deep. Like, we can do things. We can. And the problem, I really think, is if you let us get together, game over. So that's why they have to keep creating this division, because, any group that can be one is unstoppable. But anyways, I just don't get, like, why we couldn't Man, if you ever speak with Haitians, you will see that they have the same speech. Haiti needs to change. We have to do better. We have to get together. We have to do something. But then you don't see like a whole, like it's still little groups doing things. My whole thing is like, can they all merge and become this big coalition? You know, this big umbrella, this big ball that now you can get national stuff. Imagine, okay, like you said, you're a doctor here, this doctor there, that doctor here, or this engineer here, that engineer there, and they all get together and say, okay, we're gonna build a bridge in Haiti, right? Or the doctor said, we're gonna make a hospital in Haiti. You see how great that would look, but the whole thing is, oh, I think we're not in control of our destination, of our destiny. It's even though Americans are trying to act like they're not running the show, no matter how you look at it, somebody's running the show. Like, who's the puppet? Can we get to the person that has the actual string? But now it's like we brought ourselves in a position, like you look at the people at the border. Now there's only three options for them. Once they find you at the border, they will either A, deport you, B, probably release you if they can find a family member that's going to claim you. And the third one, you just go to ICE prison or detention prison, whatever they call it. So it's like you're taking a chance with not knowing which one it may be for you. And it's not even a good 50% chance you may get in. Because right now I'm hearing like planes are going out, like 4 up to 8 planes a day, just dropping the people right back off. So you have just those 3 options waiting for you. But I think they still have that glimmer of hope that they might get in. So they go in. So that lets me know, like, you trust in that little glimmer of hope that you may make it to the US. So that means you have zero hope in Haiti, period. Because you make that move because of that hope. You don't want to stay because you feel like there is no hope. So how do you help a group of people who feel like there is hopelessness?
There's no hope, right? Oof. Is that you want me to take this hard at 5 a.m. in the morning? Eh?
Well, you know what? Yes, and yes.
She said yes. I thought you said no. Well, I was waiting for the no. But
there is no no. But there are people that's helping them out there right now. Right. That's the thing. Like, I wish I could find a list of all the names of the organizations that's helping. You know, instead of little organizations going little by little. Because I think there was this group called, is it Black Factory or Freedom Factory? What's the name? It was on ABC. It was on ABC News. They were saying like they had like 30,000 migrants, right? 30,000 migrants. But they didn't tell me how many of them were Haitians. But of course, you know, they're gonna say most of them were Haitians. But they have this group of people that once they get accepted into their families here, that they trying to go to those families and still help them out. So I'm thinking, you know, there's still a lot of humanitarian love out there, you know, to still trying to want to help people in spite of, because there's another group that's saying this Haitian should have never come out here. You didn't even come from Haiti in the first place. Now you're giving us more trouble, more work, more things to process, more things to do, and we can't even feed ourselves here. And now you're gonna be an extra mouth and I don't know, to feed for another family that's already barely struggling as it is. And I think that's the misconception too. Like when you're in Haiti, you think everybody's well-to-do up here. Like there is no poverty. Like there is like that. I think they need to start teaching the right thing. But America purposefully placed themselves with NGOs or other organizations so that you could make America look good. They pay people to be ambassadors to make them look good. So they're not telling the other side of the story. So these people probably just think that
they probably don't even think we have a ghetto.
Huh?
They probably don't think we have a ghetto or a slum. They probably don't think we have none of those. Like they probably think like everybody's just living in a big house, you know, a car. Like, you know, the you can go outside. You know how they used to say, oh, là j'ai sur pied bois, we love tomber l'autre bois. Oh, is it? So they probably don't even think there's a what's the there's a was it Chicago, you know, because I think
Chicago, you know where the Indians reserve is it Point Ridge? There's a section where the people don't even live past 55 years old. It's just a little tiny town, the poorest in all of America. I gotta find this and let you guys know it's the poorest of all of America, but those stuff don't make it into the news. Like, I didn't even see that news from American news. I had to see it from like France news. So they the one who drove up here, find this little location. I'm like, wow, right in the middle of America is this little town. It's like a little Indian reserve because they're Native Americans, and deserted is really bad. And I'm like, and they talking about Haiti? You don't need to be talking about Haiti. If you see that section, you would think you were in Haiti. So yeah. So Haitians don't think they're gonna see Haiti up here, but there's a lot of poor sections out here too. So don't get it twisted out. Maybe that's the message we should pass out. But then they might look at us like, well, you here, why can't I be here?
Yeah, trust and believe. Like if the shoes were reversed, if the shoe, like I think sometimes Haitians fail to put themselves in other people's shoes. Like, okay, they take it up. Okay, well, si la avance, like, you know how the whole thing where they kill someone because, you know, they know the person like is better off than them, or like, well, comment fait ou pour passer and then back à passer. Like, you know, that mentality is really bad. It's really bad, and that also causes a lot of the insecurity in Periato because once they see, oh, abam tane frère tel font kay, okay. Okay, like, but that's what I'm saying. Like, the insecurity don't only just come from them, from the bad guys. It also comes from people with that envy, that jealousy, and everything like that. And they felt to put the fact that this person probably worked day and night, monte, fait taxi, van na la rue all day, all night just to get that. So, and it goes back to, we all have the same 24 hours. What do you do with yours is what counts. But it's oh Jesus, this subject is too touchy for me.
It's too touchy and it's too early in the morning for me. So okay, let me ask you this final question because we are running out of time anyways. So I think you kind of already answered it, but I just want to make it more general. So do you think, like, with a working government and a safer security in the country, would you go back to Haiti to help make it better? Do you think anybody else would?
Is that her? If insecurity was not a problem, I would be in Haiti for 6 months. I'll be here for 6 months. That is
me too.
No, seriously, that because yo, in Haiti, you there's a peace in Haiti that you find, you just can't find it here. So I would, and I definitely would go back, and if I can bring more people with me to do it, and to, you know, even if starting from like my town or where I grew up, and then just branching out after that to, you know, you got to start somewhere. So just having like a group of people to just come with me, I would, so yes, absolutely, because Lord knows if I want to retire, my dream, I would definitely want to retire to Haiti.
Me too.
I would definitely out of my country.
I'm working towards that dream, girl. I don't know about you. I'm still working towards that dream. But I saw this video where they were showing you like a real estate in Haiti. Like, these guys, they are real estate agents, and they show you different places. This is D2 beeping me like this.
Right, me too. Talk about something. You know what? It's okay. I have an answer for you.
Yeah, so I saw like this gorgeous apartment building. I guess it's like in close to the Pétionville area. What is it called? Oh my gosh, the name was just in my head. I forgot it. But anyways, I was reading in the comments of that session all the people that said, oh my gosh, I want to go back. I want to go back home. I want to go back home. If I had a job, I would go back home. If there was stability, I would go back home. So I'm like, I'm jumping in there like, me too. Like, can we all get together and create our own jobs down there? Maybe we like, let's all go. So you see all these people, they speak perfect English. They're very well-to-do and everything. And they just really have this longing to go back home. I've never experienced such a thing, how you want to go back home so bad, but you can't go home because they've instilled this fear in you. You know, nobody will ever be at another country and be like, I don't want to go to the US. I want to go to the US. Like everybody's jumping to get there. But then when it comes to Haiti, it's like, oh, I don't know. I don't know. Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. Everybody's on that sideline, just waiting to see if things get better. When things get better, I might take the kids, you know. And there's people up here that's teaching their kids Creole just in case they get to that point, they can go.
The thing will never, if the players doesn't get on the field and play, no game is won. So if at the end of the day, if we don't try to play this game, it's not gonna win. Everybody's on the sideline watching, and the ball is just in the middle. Like, okay, I'm here. Who's gonna play me? Girl. So if none of the players get on the field, no game, no match, no nothing.
No nothing. I'm telling you. So let's next time trying to talk about people that we know are trying to do things to go to Haiti. Like, what would be the kind of preparations that we would need to put in place in case you're interested in going to Haiti? Maybe let's ask the audience that too. Like, what would we need to have in Haiti for you to actually go to visit? Because we could probably try to plan something and make it happen ourselves. Like, you know, see what the survey kind of say. So guys, please answer us, because we're really passionate. We're really serious about trying to see a better Haiti. And I hope you are too. And even if you don't want to go, you can still give us ideas and thoughts on how you think we can make a better Haiti. And believe you me, we'll try to make it happen, and I'll go enjoy it on behalf of you. Okay? So we want to say thank you, of course, for always tuning in to us. And we're just waiting forward to your comments.
Concerns, criticisms, I don't know, all the C's.
It's all love. It's all love. We're gonna be like, oh, I feel that Haitian love right here, deep inside. But anyways, we are out of time. So Chica, say goodbye to the people.
Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as you know, I think, okay. Bye, guys.